All right, everybody. Now there's more like it. There's much more like it. Much more like it, everybody. Thank y'all for your patience and thank y'all for hanging with me uh, with this late start. I appreciate y'all very much. We are going to get ready and roll in just a minute. I wanted to make sure I saw the comments because I was like, where's the live chat at? So, I appreciate everybody being here with me. So, um, we're definitely going to get ready to get started in just a bit. Had to make a few last minute notes and everything, and we're going to definitely get ready to get started. We're going to be, you know, giving that last thought about the big victory over the Patriots, and then we're going to get ready to move on and get set for Baltimore. And of course, I'm doing the show tonight because tomorrow night I will not be watching AEW on television. I will actually be live at the Lander Center down in South Haven, Mississippi, watching it up close and personal, checking out some AEW action, getting to see Mr. John Moxley and the Painmaker Chris Jericho, and definitely seeing the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks. Definitely, so I'm excited about that. But also excited to bring y'all some very much needed Titans content as we get ready to get started with this episode. And we are going to begin, and we are going to have us a good old time, and we are going to tighten up. I've been stalking from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage. So I'm busting y'all. Welcome to we got this hit. Don't worry about it. We got this hit. So out your life. Don't worry about it. See, we got this hit. It's a brand new dance and it's about to go live. Tighten up, Nashville, rep the 615. First you tighten 2 step to the right. Then you tighten 2 step to the left. Blue jerseys everywhere. Game face, yeah, we got it all. Sticking out our chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Countdown. He's about to get her up. Here come the train, y'all. Tennessee, tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Sticking out my tip. We know it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my tip. We know it like it's King Kong. Tighten 2 steps to the right. Then you tighten 2 steps to the left. Sticking out my tip. We know it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my tip. We know it like it's King Kong. Third down, come around, we about to shut down. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome in to a brand new edition of Titans and Truth, another playoff edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are in for a fun episode this evening. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode tonight. And yes, we're definitely gonna get into this game with the Baltimore Ravens. And this is a big game because I don't think a lot of people outside of Titan Nation seriously thought we were going to win this game. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to say, a lot of people are basically just talking about it as if the Patriots lost and not so much we won it. I mean, the national media, with the exception of Good Morning Football, who I love dearly, of course, everybody else just kept talking about, well, I guess, I don't know if this is it for Brady or it's over for Brady. His history might be in doubt. He might be going elsewhere. It's like all they kept talking about was Brady's future instead of talking about the team that actually won the game. A lot of people was doing that.
Good Morning Football. That's why I tell you all the time, Good Morning Football is really the only national show I really pay attention to because they're the only ones that are relevant. They're the only ones that give the Titans any real respect. The only one. I'm not talking about First Take. Well, First Take sometime. I mean, Stephen A gives us a little love every now and then, not much. But I don't really pay attention to Undisputed or First Thing First. That show stinks. I don't even know why I even brought First Thing First up. I hate that show. They are the worst. I would rather listen. I would rather listen to 24 hours of Skip and Shannon than listen to 1 minute of First Things First. First Things First is the worst show on television, in my honest opinion. And I felt that way for a long time. Of course, Good Morning Football, I'll look at Good Morning Football 365 days of the year. I got love for that show. I got a lot of love for that show. So I just shout out to them. Shout out to them on that. But I mean, you know, after feeling on top of the world for a week, for the last few days, we felt on top of the world. We beat Brady and Belichick in Foxborough on top of the world. But now I think it's time for all of us to get back to reality. It is time for us to remember, hey, that was a great win. Got a first playoff victory for Mike Vrabel and Ryan Tannehill. But that's over now. That's over now. That is in the rear view. And now it's time to be fully locked in, focused, full speed ahead to Baltimore. That's where we got to go next. Because this team, I'm going to come out and I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is going to be a hot take. And Teron Davenport of ESPN, I heard a clip of him saying this too. If the Tennessee Titans get past the Baltimore Ravens, I think the Tennessee Titans are going to the Super Bowl. And that could be a very, very hot take, but I honestly believe that. If the Tennessee Titans defeat the Baltimore Ravens, they are going to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to be super overconfident if they do get past the Ravens and have to face Kansas City or Houston. But what I'm saying is with those other two teams, I really truly believe I know we can beat either one of those teams because we've proven we could do it. We've beaten Patrick Mahomes at Kansas City. We've beaten Kansas City in Arrowhead, albeit that wasn't with Patrick Mahomes, but we beat Mahomes this season already. We were an Anthony Ferguson drop and interception, which was Ferguson's fault, by the way, and a missed kick of Ryan Suckup from beating Deshaun Watson and the Texans and winning the AFC South. So I really truly believe we could beat those teams and get to the Super Bowl. But we got to get past Baltimore first. That would be mission number one. And again, I'm sorry for the delay. Had to make sure I had everything in place. Had to, take care of some technical difficulties with my computer. Had to get some things going on. What's up, Belvis? Everything, lots of billboard material coming out of Baltimore. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. I have heard some of it, and I'm gonna try to pull up a clip or two of it. So yeah, Earl Thomas already talking trash. Earl Thomas already talking trash, being disrespectful. I'm like, okay, do your talking, I'm gonna try to pull up some clips of that. And Rocky Yit says, wonder where everyone is, can't wait for or dreading for Saturday. I'm excited. Absolutely. What is the difference between Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick, Osman Gure? I'm going to probably answer that. That's a good one. So I like that. And what's up, Big Titan? What's going on with you? Robert Glasgow, Memphis represent. I know that's right. How to stop Lamar Jackson. We're going to get into that. I'm gonna get into that. Um, and like I said, I was tired of hearing all the talk about Brady and all this stuff, and people just were not going to talk about the team that actually run the game, that won the game. So that's something that we're gonna have to, again, Brady and the Patriots called us a bunch of jackals and hyenas. Jackals and hyenas can be very dangerous. They're like packs. You got one, we come in packs, and we can take you down. And that's what we can do. Mark S says Skip and Shannon not bad. First thing first is garbage. I agree. I mean, I don't mind listening to Skip and Shannon every now and then, because they like to argue. And sometimes I like to see Skip Bayless get put in his place. So let's see. Now, I know we hear a lot of people probably worried about this game and things like that. And truth enough, Baltimore is good, and we're going to get to this later. But I'm going to give y'all some reason of excitement. I really am. I'm going to give y'all some reason for excitement later. So let's go ahead and get into the news of the day. And that is, first off, in practice, with the practice report coming out, this is, of course, via Teron Davenport, among others. Adoree Jackson and Jayon Brown did not practice today. I thought Jayon was going to get on the field in practice, but it looks like they held him out. And with Adoree, I'm not really worried about Jayon and Adoree because, number one, with Jayon, they didn't really come out with like they were talking about an MRI or anything. They didn't really give, Vrabel was very vague when it came to Jayon. He basically said, yeah, he's sore and everything. And Jayon tried to give it a go, but they basically held him back. So I think, he wasn't in a sling or anything like that. And so I think Jayon's going to practice sometime this week, and I think Jayon's going to go. We'll find out more this week. Tomorrow is a bigger day. We'll definitely see if Jayon does or does not practice. I think Adoree's going to be fine. He didn't seem to have any issues today. They're probably resting some people today. Khalif Raymond practiced fully. That is a big sign of him coming back. Vrabel said it looks like the concussion protocol is finally nearing an end for him. Adam Humphries, I don't know what's going on with Adam Humphries. And I was hearing this on Jared the GM today. I don't know if Adam Humphries just had a sprained ankle or he really broke his ankle. Because ever since the game against Indy, he hasn't practiced for over a month. I mean, a month. Almost 4 or 5 weeks of not practicing. I'm like, did Adam Humphries break his ankle? I don't know why they didn't put him on IR or something like that. So I don't know what's going on with that. Among others, Cody Hollister, Dion Lewis were limited. So not really any worries there about that. But on the Ravens side, a big name that was on the list, Mark Ingram, did not practice with a calf injury. So that is something to take note of. If Mark Ingram can't go, yes, they still have a good slew of running backs, but that could make defending the Ravens just a tad bit easier. I'm not saying a whole lot, but maybe a little bit easier. So that's something that we'll just have to keep an eye on with that. So we'll definitely see about that. Among other news, like I was hearing some stuff, about Earl Thomas and and everything. And also there was on ESPN, this was a clip. I had this on my Facebook page earlier. I told you I was gonna play it for you. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Give me just a minute.
affect you throughout the game? I mean, it makes you make business decisions. People forget how great this rivalry used to be. Remember about 2002 and 2001 when the narrative was talking about Ray Lewis and Eddie George and I was part of this rivalry, and I experienced this when Eddie George came in there like his hair was on fire, and Ray wanted to get up like he pound his chest like he won this one, but this was an L, bro. I love you, but I got to do you. But I mean, you talk about this team going against, this Ravens team were built to really compete against the Patriots and Kansas City. They weren't built. They're built with their defense, with their defensive backs. This is going to be a tough matchup. I'm telling you. And these defensive backs are going to have to make a decision. Am I going to take this L for the team, or am I going to be on top of the train tracks when the train comes?
That was Bart Scott, former Ravens and Jets linebacker, on Get Up this morning. And basically, the one thing that I took away from that clip was where he basically said, this Raven team is built to beat like the Patriots or the Chiefs with a lot of good defensive backs. Now, don't get me wrong. The Ravens are very good up front, but he basically said, if Derrick Henry gets out on the edge, some of these linebackers and corners and safeties are going to have to make business decisions. Are you just going to take that loss, or are you going to try to stand on the tracks when the beast train is running at you and it's going to pop you? What you going to do? And, he basically said this is going to be a tough matchup for the Ravens. And I agree. I definitely agree. What's up, Anthony? How's it going? And everything with that. And I see some of y'all talking about how they lost to the Browns earlier. I got some stuff on that too. I'm going to try to see if I can bring up something, I'm going to try to play as much of this as I can. This is Earl Thomas at his press conference. This is on YouTube. I don't own the rights to this, but let's see. Earl Thomas, was doing a whole lot of trash talking. And basically being disrespectful, saying, well, if you try to pass it on us, may not be a great idea. So here's Earl Thomas.
All right. Earl, you've played in a lot of playoff games. What is kind of the key when you get to this portion of the new season?
Yeah, I think it goes back to fundamentals. Everybody winning their individual battles and bringing that to the collective group.
And a veteran, how important has the playoff been for you and your body?
It's treated my body really well. I'm going to take a vet day today and get some more recovery, and I'll be ready. This organization has done great all year.
Now, before I play more of the clip, a vet day? Really? And y'all have been off for like 2-3 weeks at a time? You're taking a vet day? See, that just tells, he's talking about, well, I'm going to get some more recovery, but I'll be ready to go. See, that tells you already. They think this is going to be a walk in the park for them. Honestly. And I'm trying to pull up some more clips of that. So y'all give me just a second. I want to get to where they're talking to Titans. Hold on a second. Now, I would be talking over this, but Earl Thomas, yes, he's a great safety, a great player, but he has no idea what's in store for him. He think he know, but he just don't.
Well, experience is always a great teacher, so I have a lot of playoff experience. Just gonna use all that and help the guys the best way I can.
Bro, you obviously spent a lot of time with Russell Wilson, a guy who's something of a magician in the red zone. Now you get here, Lamar, 24 touchdowns, no interceptions in the red zone. Statistically, the highest rated passer in the red zone. Being the defender and seeing his different fun angles, the way he throws things off for managers and the chemistry they have. How difficult is that for a defense? Because
to do what he does in small spaces seems pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. The new era that we're in right now in the NFL. He knows his matchups. He uses the big tight ends where only they can catch the ball, and we all know what he can do once he starts to run. You see it more and more around the league. You saw Deshaun Watson pull some magician stuff out of his.
I'm gonna play the whole clip, give
at the
y'all
end of
some
the game.
entertainment.
So quarterbacks these days they're elite.
Well, the last time you made a Super Bowl run, you were younger. You hadn't had some of the adverse injuries. Do you cherish this a little more now? Do you take this differently than you were younger?
Yeah, I just put that in the box of experience. Just calling on all those past experience and learning from them. But I'm definitely confident in what we're doing here, going into the playoffs.
Do you feel the need to talk to guys about what the focus needs to be in the playoffs? Do you sit back? How do you approach that aspect of it?
I'm gonna try to skip up because
Yeah, communication is great. He just lets us know what's on his mind, how he sees things, and how he's gonna call things. Yeah, the key to stopping play action is stopping the run game. I think when the run game gets going, that's when the play action shots available because the defense is so aggressive trying to stop the run. So if we knock that out from the start, I think we'll be fine. I think if Tannehill try to pass on us, I don't think that'll go in their favor. So we know they're gonna try to run the ball. So, but we just got to stop the run and play sound on the back end. I think that'll take care of the play action pass.
Earl, with the long layoff, obviously helps with the physically getting rested up and everything. Is there any concern though being a little rusty at the beginning of the game?
No, that's what practice is for. You get the rust out of practice. You get your eyes right. You get your technique, your alignments, and all that stuff right. And then in the game, it's muscle memory. You sharpen all your tools, and you're gonna be ready when game comes.
Did you notice any type of uptake in intensity in practice last week because you didn't have that game and because you
Practice is just fun as it usually is. We making fun. We talking noise to the offense. Lamar trying to stir a little something up to make it competitive.
okay, yeah, that would be Earl Thomas basically saying, if we shut down the run, we can shut down their play action, and if Tannehill tries to pass on us, that wouldn't be a good idea. Well, Earl, I found some holes in y'all defense that we could exploit. Trust me on that. And that's something I'm going to talk about later on. And, he basically saying, expects the Titans to focus on the run behind Derrick Henry. He basically said, like he said earlier, if Tannehill try to pass on us, I don't think that'll go in their favor. We know they're going to try to run the ball and everything. So, and here he is, another line. So I think Tannehill threw like 15 times last game for 72 yards in the playoff game and still won. That's credit how hard Derrick Henry is running their offensive line. Basically disrespecting Ryan Tannehill in a whole lot of ways. And he said, he basically said he doesn't expect Henry to repeat that same success against Baltimore and the number 5 run defense. Saying, well, those guys didn't seem like they were too interested in tackling him. Our mindset's a little different. We're going to try to swarm and we'll see how it plays out. Earl, let me tell you something. And I would love somebody to share this episode on Earl Thomas's Twitter page. I would love for Earl to hear this. Earl Thomas, if you ever hear this, Derrick Henry will run straight through you and this entire Ravens defense. I found holes in y'all defense, and they will exploit them. Tannehill ain't no, low-line quarterback that's 5th, 6th round that's been a backup. Titans are coming for you. You better be ready because you don't want to be on the train tracks when that beast train is coming through. Because if you do, you're going to be lying on your tail while Derrick Henry is running to the end zone. Bet on that, Earl. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, we'll let him keep talking. Disrespect us all you want. We're going to handle that. No problem. And we'll get to that later. But right now, you know what? I got kind of off topic there, talking about some stupidity right there. Let's get to our two-tone blue star of the week. Who was the best player on Saturday? And I know there are a lot of nominees to go around. And before we get to that, I'm gonna read a few of y'all comments. You know, let's see. Lil Keto says foot up Ravens Saturday. Lil Keto said we shouldn't be scared of a team that lost to the Browns. And they did lose to the Browns. That much is true. Just be 81-74. If we can establish the run right away and start getting them overcommitted, then hit them hard with the play action. I agree. Derek, I'm with you on that. Y'all hit that like button. I know that's right. Hit that like button. Let's see. Let's see. King Isaac says this game will surprise many. I agree with that. Just be said, let them talk. I love being an underdog. So just be said, he also says Hope Ingram and Andre play. I'm not sure who the other player is you're talking about, or it's a wrap. We'll have to see if Andrews. I'm sorry. Yeah. If Mark Andrews and Mark Ingram don't play, there is going to be some trouble for Baltimore. That much is a fact. So we're definitely going to see about that. But yeah, who are your two-tone blue stars of the week? I see King Isaac already coming with Derrick Henry. Belvis saying Derrick Henry or Rashaan Evans. Brett Kern. Yeah, Brett Kern deserves some love too. AZ Mix says Derrick Henry. Joe said this is an early shut your pie hole, Earl Thomas. I can agree with that. That is a good early. That would be good for the first 2020 shut your pie hole that we could do later on. Shut your pie hole, Earl Thomas, talking all that crap. It will be interesting to see what the game plan will be. Shaolin says King Henry. Anthony says King Henry. Shaolin Fantastic says Rashaan Evans. I definitely really like that. Let's see. I know I had a few more on the Titans of Truth page. Let's see. Had a few. I'm trying to pull that up. I know Facebook is being a little slow. Joseph says Logan Ryan. Just B says OC for calling a good game. Arthur Smith. I did like the fact that Arthur Smith, he stuck to what works. I know a lot of people will talk about, well, Tannehill only threw for 72 yards and only threw it 15 times. That's because Derrick Henry was killing them with the run game. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so I like that. Let's see. I know I had a couple of other nominees. Let's see. I'm trying to pull that up right now. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, stick with me. Okay. Reginald Browning on Facebook says Rashaan Evans and the Dunce goes to the annoying Patriot fan talking trash before the game. Oh, they were all talking a lot of trash, but we were the ones leaving with a smile on our face. Riley says star nominee for Derrick Henry. Let's see. But it looks like it's pretty unanimous that the two-tone blue star of the week. What's up, Coach Plays? Tuning in. I see you. What's going on with you, good sir? Welcome on in. But it looks like the two-tone blue star of the week is going to be Mr. Derrick the King Henry. Crown him the king on his throne because he did work. 34 carries, 184 yards, and a touchdown. And he put in work on the so-called number one defense in the league, number one run defense in the league. And it was a great thing to see. Absolutely. So give it up to King Henry, but I am going to give an honorable mention to Rashaan Evans because Rashaan Evans played a big game. He had 10 tackles on the game, was huge. And I will say one of the big turning points of the game was that huge goal line stand. The Patriots had a chance to go up 17-7, and that goal line stand was huge. It was a big-time goal line stand. Rashaan Evans was a big part of that. Daquan Jones, Big Jeff were big parts of that as well. So shout out to Rashaan Evans as well on that. Brett Kern had a huge couple of punts that he got off. So, I mean, Brett Kern definitely deserves some love too. And I mean, think about this. We did this against the number one defense in the league in the New England Patriots. The number one defense in the league. And a New England Patriots run defense that was ranked 6th in the league. And I'm starting to think about this. And Earl Thomas talked about focusing on the run. If we did this to the number one defense in the league and the number 6 run defense, y'all are just ranked number 5. What do you think is going to happen to y'all? Y'all think y'all going to have better luck? Y'all ain't faced a guy with the size of Derrick Henry. We're definitely going to find out. But let's see. Yeah, Isaiah, look, I put out the message on that on Facebook and on Instagram. Yeah, the show is tonight because tomorrow night I'm gonna be at a live the live AEW Dynamite show tomorrow night. So that's why I'm doing the show this evening instead of tomorrow night. But you didn't miss a whole lot. We're gonna get into the Ravens in just a bit. Coach Plays says Simmons paved the way for Evans multiple times. Yes, he did. Evans and Jones and Simmons did a great job, especially on that goal line stand. Darren Roberts says that could be major for us. I agree. Let's see. Question is, are they just resting them, but don't make sense since they are technically have been off for 2 weeks? And that's the thing about that with Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram has been suffering that calf injury for a while. And the fact is, they rested him the week 17 game, and then they had to bye. So he's been sitting for 2 weeks. This will be 3 weeks now. And he hasn't practiced yet. Not exactly the best sign. So, and I agree. Daquan Jones has been overlooked a little bit. I've overlooked him myself. I'll be guilty of that. But with a star of the week, there is also a dunce of the day. Oh, and also, again, I did mention Rashaan Evans. Honorable mention goes to Logan Ryan because he could have been easily a dunce nominee for dropping that earlier pick 6 in the first half, but he redeemed himself with the pick 6 to basically put an exclamation point on the victory. So Logan Ryan gets some honorable mention, and Good Morning Football giving some honorable mention as well with the love they've given to the Titans. Especially, they at least talk about them. So whenever there's a star of the week, there's also somebody who is a dum-dum and is a dunce of the day. Womp, 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 womp. Who do y'all have as the dunce of the day for not good play? I would throw Tannehill on the list, but with the way that the game was going, I'm not really going to talk bad about Tannehill because Derrick Henry was doing so well, he didn't have to do anything. I would give a slight dunce to Arthur Smith for not getting A.J. Brown a little bit more involved in the game. I mean, 1 catch for like 5 yards is not enough for your best receiver. I know Stephon Gilmore is one of the best corners in the league, but Gilmore can be thrown on. Just like Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey can be thrown on as well. They got to get A.J. Brown more involved. Now, Corey Davis does have to get a little bit of a dunce recognition because, he went out of bounds and then came back in and caught the pass for illegal touching. I thought if you go out of bounds and you could come back in and establish yourself in the field of play, I thought that was okay, but it seems like it was not. So I have to give a nod to that. Also, I say a Dunce of the Day nominee, all the Patriot fans that have just been whining and crying and moaning and complaining about this game. I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all knew this was going to happen. We're the better team. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. And, of course, I'm going to give a Dunce of the Day nominee to Bill Belichick for trying to act like he didn't know what Mike Vrabel was trying to do when he was milking the clock on that fourth down. Belichick did it himself, and he was all mad that Vrabel was doing that. Basically, he didn't like the fact that he got outsmarted by his own pupil with his own trick. So Belichick deserves that as well. I'm going to read some of y'all comments on that. Let's see. Coach Play says reports show that it's looking good for Jayon to play, which is much needed. I agree. Like I said, if there was really no MRI or anything that came out, they didn't really put a big deal into what happened with Jayon, so it looks like he's going to go. And I think the same with Adoree as well. Adam Humphries, again, something it got to be wrong because he hasn't practiced in a month, and something tells me he's not going to go. Isaiah says, I agree we need to stop their tight ends. Yeah, because they got three good ones. Jayon will be huge in this game, healthy. Let's see. Joseph says the Ravens are there for the picking, just like the Patriots. Coach Play says Tannehill made key throws when needed. I agree. And fed the beast. Also think Patriots D really clamped on our receivers, which made it hard. Now, that I agree with. And, I will say this. Tannehill made a clutch throw on third down to Ferguson. That was a huge play on third down. Coach Plays also said Corey needs to make big plays when the chances arrive. I agree. So I think Corey Davis can definitely be a Dunce of the Day nominee. Just B says, yeah, illegal touching unless forced out. Okay. So if you just happen to be out of bounds, you can't come back in. But if you were forced out, as long as you reestablish yourself in the field of play, it's okay. Okay, I appreciate that, Just Me. Thank you for informing me of that. Corey disappeared in the last portion of the season. Let's see. AZ Mix says Patriots fans. Let's see. Coach Play says you can come back immediately in the play if you are forced out. But if you go out of bounds without force, you cannot come back in. Okay. Yep. There we go. So that basically explains it. Unless you're forced out, you can't come back into the field of play. Okay. You Smith as a fullback for Henry in this game. Let's see. But yeah, Taylor got a concussion against the Patriots. Nobody picked it up but me. Are you talking about Taylor Warren getting a concussion? Not sure. Anthony, you talking about Taylor Warren, I'm presuming. I haven't heard anything with Taylor Warren getting a concussion. He wasn't on the injury report, so I think that's fine. He probably, maybe they went into the tent, checked him out, and he was fine, but I didn't even notice him off the field at all. So I'm going to go ahead and say a Titan Dunce of the Day definitely goes to Corey Davis, and the overall Dunce of the Day has to go to Bill Belichick, getting outsmarted by his own pupil, Mike Vrabel. Shout out to Vrabes on that. But now it is time to pick my brain. Pick my brain. This is where y'all get to ask me some questions and everything with that. I know a few people have asked me, how can we beat the Ravens? How do we stop Lamar Jackson? I'm going to get to that in my preview of the Ravens. So we're definitely going to get into this. We're definitely going to get into that. And Coach Plays, I appreciate you. Y'all go check out his stuff too. He has a lot of knowledge of the game. Y'all check out Coach Plays, his videos too. I'm definitely gonna go check it out and give some love and some thumbs up likes to him as well. But y'all give me up some questions on that. I know a lot of people were wondering if the dynasty of the Patriots is dead. Yes, it is. I think it's dead. And Jacob says, I like how you said in the beginning of the season when Mario got benched, I'm demanding a win. Yeah, I want a victory in this one as well. Definitely. Osmond Guri said, what's the difference between Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick? You know what? That is an excellent question. They're very similar, in my honest opinion. I think Michael Vick had a little bit bigger of a build. Michael Vick had a little bit bigger of a build and was not very easy to bring down. I think Lamar Jackson has more speed than Michael Vick, but I mean, Michael Vick was elusive. And I mean, he was a little bit more accurate with the football than Lamar Jackson is, in my honest opinion. But Lamar, he's something to watch. I can't lie about that. I can't lie about that at all. Let's see. Where can I purchase a light blue limited Henry jersey? You might want to check out the Titans locker room. Check out Titans locker room, or also check out Lids. Check out Lids locker room. Those are a couple of good places to get jerseys. Isaiah says, can we upset the Ravens in Baltimore? Absolutely. Absolutely. We could definitely upset Baltimore. There are ways to do it. What needs to be done to get a win? I'm going to tell y'all that in a bit. Derek says, do you think Marcus has learned anything watching Tannehill in case he has to come in and relieve him? I would probably say watching has done Mariota a lot of good, in my honest opinion. And I think it's going to help him in his career. Be more confident. Be more decisive with your throws. Believe in your team. You know, put it up there for your teammates to go get it. You don't have to just wait till they're completely wide open before you throw the ball. I think he has learned a lot from Tannehill. And I hope that it helps him in, the going on in the future or anything like that. And I do believe there are going to be some times in this game where Marcus Mariota comes in the game. And, a lot of people haven't mentioned this yet. In practice, Mariota's going to be a big help in this game because Lamar Jackson likes to run the ball, run the read option and stuff like that. Who else was running that in college and stuff like that? Give you two guesses, but you only need one, and he wore number 8 for us. Marcus Mariota himself. Very, very similar to Lamar Jackson. Both of them can run, have speed, and stuff like that. So Marcus could be a big help in us preparing to stop Lamar Jackson. And I think that's where a lot of people maybe have struggled because in practice, your scout team quarterback has to mimic the opposing quarterback. In this week, Marcus has to mimic Lamar Jackson, and that's going to be huge for us. Because, Marcus does some of the same things. He ran a lot of read option in college and things like that. He will go this and run some read option. We've practiced against that. So I think we could be very prepared for it. Let's see. Coach Play says, how much does this matchup worry you? Ravens kicker versus our kicker. That is a very important matchup. Justin Tucker is one of the best kickers in the league, all-pro kicker. Greg Joseph has yet to kick a field goal since he's been a Titan. Now, he's kicked all of his extra points, and he has made, I think with the exception of one kick, has had all touchbacks. So he's done well in that regard, but in this game against Baltimore, he's going to have to kick a field goal. And I am worried about that until I see the first field goal go through the uprights. That is something that does concern me. That is an excellent point by Coach Plays. Let's see. They're going to have to bring the wood and hit Lamar a couple of times to shake him up. I agree. You're going to have to hit Lamar a lot in this game. And see, Dasty said, I'm going to make the trip. We got to take that place over. I agree. And Coach Play says, great point. Mariota has been the scout team player of the week. So, again, Marcus Mariota does a lot of similar things to Lamar Jackson, which is going to help our defense out tremendously. And we're going to have a spy. Somebody's going to have to spy on Lamar to make sure he doesn't escape. Now, the question is, should it be a linebacker or a safety? I've been hearing it on radio talking maybe, the best way to play defense is maybe use 6-7 defensive backs. If you do that, then you're only going to have a few people rushing, which could leave the door open for Mark Ingram to run the ball. I would probably use maybe 6 defensive backs, and then you at least have the back half covered, and you can still rush the passer and stop the run. So we're definitely going to have to be careful of that. Just me says, if Evans or Simmons hit Lamar full steam, I bet he thinks twice about running it again. That is an excellent question. That is an excellent point. Lamar Jackson gets hit again. If Lamar Jackson takes that one bad hit, it's all she wrote. It's over. So plain and simple with that. But let's go ahead and get into this Ravens preview. Right now, Vegas has, and it hasn't moved, Ravens the Titans, as a 9.5-point dog against Baltimore. If I'm a betting man, I'm taking that bet all day, every day. I think the Titans are going to, no matter what, they're going to cover. And you know what? I think I am going to be a betting man this week. 9.5-point favorite. I'm taking that bet easily. I'll put a bet down. Not only will they cover, the Titans are going to win. Plain and simple. They're definitely going to cover that 9.5-point spread, without a doubt. So, Anthony Hayes says, just posted a video of how to stop Henry. Who were they using? Who were they using as the opponent? Maybe it was Buffalo, or maybe it was Jacksonville the first time. And I mean, the only reason Jacksonville that first time really stopped Derrick Henry was because we were already behind the 8 ball early. So we had to abandon the run. That's why Marcus Mariota had over 300 yards in garbage time, and Adoree fumbles that first punt. Buffalo, was very good defensively, but Derrick Henry still ran 21 carries for 78 yards against Buffalo. The only team that really shut him down was Denver. And I think it was because, Denver had a very nice defensive front, but at the same time, we got behind. So we had to abandon the run. So, again, the Patriots, all I kept hearing last week was, Belichick's going to take away what you do best. Belichick's going to take Henry away. That didn't work. So what makes you think Wink Martindale is going to be able to stop Derrick Henry? We're going to find that out. We're definitely going to find that out. And I mean, that was early in the year. As the year has gone on, Derrick Henry has been unstoppable. That's basically it. And see, Dash says we could possibly be physically and emotionally spent after the Pats win. That, and I did kind of worry about that, where Vrabel was saying, we put a whole lot into that game against the Patriots. Well, you're going to have to put a hell of a lot more than that into this game against Baltimore. You better be ready, because we got opportunity. We got an opportunity to really shock the world. A lot of people have Baltimore as their Super Bowl pick. And if we stop them, we'd have messed up everything. And everybody will take us seriously. So, of course, Baltimore, as great as they are, I think they can be beaten. And, of course, it all starts with Lamar Jackson. It all starts with him. And again, just seeing Earl Thomas's face just makes me mad. It really does. So first you start with Lamar Jackson, who had over 3,000 yards passing, 36 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions on the year. Completed 66% of his passes. An excellent football player. Probably going to be the MVP. He's probably going to be the MVP. So, and not to mention, Lamar Jackson not only threw for 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, over 35 touchdowns, he rushed for 1,200 yards. Record for any quarterback rushing. That is an unbelievable season. He led the team in passing and led the team in rushing. 3,000 yards passing and led the team in rushing with 1,200 yards rushing. Now, Mark Ingram added another 1,000 yards, and then you got Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. Gus Edwards is pretty good too, but I think if Mark Ingram doesn't play, I think Edwards, we could take care of him. Just B says, you think Hollywood gets shadowed by Adoree? If I'm Dean Pease, that is the only time I shadow anybody, because Adoree is the only one fast enough to keep up with Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown is a speed demon, and Adoree Jackson is the only one that can keep up with him. Absolutely. Other than that, let's see. We got their receivers. They got some excellent tight ends in Mark Andrews, who had 64 catches, 850 yards, 10 TDs. Marquise Brown only had 46 catches, 584 yards, 7 TDs, but he had an 83-yard touchdown catch. And that was that first one of the season. Hayden Hurst is good with 30 catches. Snead is good. Boyle is the other tight end. So you got Andrews, Boyle, Hurst, 3 very good tight ends. NGB Talk, what's up with you? Welcome on in. Let's see, weak outside run. Not very sure about that. Dash Humphrey, what's wrong with Humphreys? Humphreys is still dealing with an ankle, and he hasn't practiced for a month now. Raymond being healthy could be huge. Take the top off the D. I agree. And I'm going to explain some stuff in a minute on that. So that's your names a few. Defensively, they're pretty good too. You got 2 all-pro corners on the outside in Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. And then Jimmy Smith has moved from corner to safety along with the trash-talking Earl Thomas. And you got Matthew Judon. Matthew Judon, who leads the team in sacks at 9.5 sacks. And, you got Brandon Williams, the big nose tackle in the middle. Wormsley up there. Jalen Ferguson, the rookie, who I didn't tend to like. Tyus Bowser and Pernell McPhee has come back in with the Ravens. He had a couple of bad years with Chicago when he left, but he's come back to Baltimore. You got Pierce. So, the Ravens collectively have some nice defensive players, but most of their stars are in the back end with Humphrey, Earl Thomas, Marcus Peters. Their front is aggressive. They like to blitz a lot, and I've noticed that. I watched their 2 losses to Cleveland and Kansas City, and I got to watch some of the game against San Francisco. And there are some ways that we can beat them. There are some ways we can have some success, which takes me to the Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory. Let's see. Tighten up, NGB Talk. What's going on with you? Let's see. How many free agents have underperformed? Quite a few. I mean, Adam Humphries wasn't exactly what we paid him to be yet. I think a lot of that was getting used to the scheme. Also, it had to be injury. I think next year he could be better. Ryan Tannehill has been a godsend. Cam Wake started off as a house of fire, but ended on IR. Malcolm Butler has been better. Definitely. Glad we got Kenny Vaccaro back and everything. So we have a few that perform well. We have a few that underperform. I know Buck Rising hates that question with Malcolm Butler. He is on IR. He cannot come back. He's already out for the year. He'll be back next season. So, and a look at the rankings right now. Of course, at the end of the year, the Titans offensively finished 21st against the 21st passing. Ravens were 27th in passing the football. Run game is where both teams have an advantage. Titans, third best run attack. Ravens, number one. Offensively, totally, Ravens, number 2 offense in the league. Titans, 12th best offense. Ravens, number 1 scoring offense. Titans, 10th. And that's over the whole season. Now, after Tannehill took over, the Titans have been like number 3 in scoring offense since Tannehill took over. Defensively, against the run, Ravens are 5th against the run. Titans are 12th, which is still very good. Against the pass, this is where the Titans are 24th against the pass, but the Ravens are 6th. Total, Titans are 21st total defense in yards. Ravens are 4th. In points allowed, Ravens are 3rd. Titans are 12th. So in the end, the Ravens have a top 5 offense and defense, which is going to be difficult to deal with. But again, they can be beat. What's up, Titan Anderson? How's it going? Welcome on in. I appreciate the guys showing me some love. I appreciate that. But here are my 4 points to victory. And I'm going to start on the offensive side of the ball. And with Tannehill in the game. Point number 1. Run the football. It doesn't matter that the Baltimore Ravens are 5th against the run. The Patriots are 6th against the run, and we ran all over them. So it doesn't matter about rankings. Baltimore can be ran on, especially if Derrick Henry, if they use that outside zone run, get Henry to the outside. Yeah, they want to try to force him back inside into the meat. But if Derrick Henry gets outside and gets to the edge and gets to the second level, the Ravens ain't going to want to stop him. So that's one thing they have to do. Run the ball, be patient, and let the beast go loose. As Jarrett would say, let the big dog eat. And he should eat a lot in this game. Point number 2, and this goes to Tannehill. Now, Tannehill is going to have to pass a little in this game. But where I think a weakness is in the Ravens is in the middle. Their linebackers are pretty decent in the run defense, but they don't cover very well. I noticed that with Cleveland and with Kansas City. Their tight ends were eating up the middle of the field. And that's where Ferkser and Jonnu can really take advantage, especially Jonnu. If Jonnu can get into the middle of the field and have open field, he can have a field day in this game. So the middle of and if you could get some good crossing routes somewhere in the middle of the field, that's where I think the Titans could do some damage. Attack the middle of the field. That is where I've noticed some weakness to the Ravens. If you try to throw outside to the perimeter, that's where they may have an advantage. But if you could get, if you could use their over aggressiveness against them, attack the middle of the field. Screen passes could be huge in this game because the Ravens love to blitz. They love to bring 5, 6 guys on the blitz. They love to get ferocious and get after the quarterback. And that's where Tannehill has to have good pocket awareness, which he tends to do, have good pocket awareness, get the ball away, use the screen game to your advantage. If we got to dink and dunk a little bit, that's fine. But use their over-aggressiveness against them. Use their momentum to over-pursue. If you get them to do that, that's where the Titans can get some much-needed yards and drive the ball because we need to hold on to the football. The longer you keep Lamar Jackson off the field, the better you are going to be as an offense. That's what the Titans are going to have to do offensively. NGP Talk says Titans can get this win. I agree. Ravens linebackers I know is Tyus Bowser, Pernell McPhee. Let's see, I'm looking up Jalen Ferguson, the rookie out of Louisiana Tech. Let's see who else. On Wassor, who had like 64 tackles. Like the most tackles that they had was 73 by a safety. And that's because most of the time the defense ain't on the field very long because their offense is dealing with that. Offense is like tops in the league in time of possession. The Ravens tend to hold the ball for over 35 minutes. That's what the Titans have to do. They're going to have to hold the ball for over 30 minutes, keep that defense on the field, keep that Raven offense off the field. And offensively, ball control, no turnovers, no fumbles, no picks, none of that. We can't let that happen. And AM is right. Tannehill do not fumble the ball. And NGB agrees with me. He said, just rewatched the Ravens-Brown game. The middle is suspect. And I agree. And again, same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Did the same thing. McCole Hardman got to the middle of the field, was able to outrun. Kelsey got to the middle of the field. They could be ran on. They could be ran on and they could be passed on. Baltimore is very good, but they're not as invincible as people are making them out to be. They're not as invincible. And NGB Talk says Ravens and Jags defense is very similar. I like that comparison. And if we've done that to the Ravens, to the Jags defense, we could do it to theirs. You know, decent up front, good secondary, suspect at linebacker. That's where we could take advantage. So now to the defensive side of the ball. And there's a lot of points that come around to this one point. Point number 3, disciplined football. We have got to play disciplined, sound defense. That means a lot of the times Lamar likes to run option. They like to run option, where he keeps it and runs or hands it off to make you think you don't know who has the ball. And coming from a guy that played high school football, one thing about defending the option is you got to know your assignments and do your job. There are going to be certain guys that are responsible for the quarterback. There are going to be certain guys responsible for the pitchman, or in this case, the running back. This is where each Titan has to take care of their singular responsibility. For example, the defensive linemen are going to be responsible if they're running inside option. If they're running that inside option, the defensive line is got to crowd up and stop the running back. The outside linebackers and the linebacker like Evans and Brown are going to have to close up the edge and make sure Lamar Jackson doesn't get outside. And then also the corners are going to have responsibility for making sure that Lamar doesn't make it to the edge or that the running back doesn't make it to the edge. So it's responsible, disciplined football. You cannot let Lamar Jackson run. And the best way to do that, number one, is you got to tackle well. And that leads me, I'm sorry, this will go into my last point. But you got to tackle well. You got to tackle and wrap up. Because if you don't, he's going to get away. And when you see Lamar Jackson running, he's going to try to juke and everything. You got to sit down. You got to sit down and just let him make the first move, and you don't fall for that. You don't fall for that first move because he's going to try to juke you one way and go the other. If you see that first move, if he makes that first move and he tries to shake and you still sitting there, you got him. But if you fall for that first move, that's how he gets you. Do not fall for the first move. Let him make that second move, and then that's where you get on him. That's how you can shut Lamar Jackson down. Disciplined football, tackle, and wrap up. And it's going to take a whole collective defense to do it. And point number 4, keep him bottled up in the pocket. I would rather take my chances with him throwing the ball than running it. Shut down the run, make them pass. And that can lead to turnovers. Let him make a mistake. And so, again, Hollywood Brown, Adoree Jackson needs to stay on him. And true enough, the tight ends are going to try to get open in the middle. And that's where Byard and Vaccaro are going to have to come in. Jayon or Rashawn. I mean, they got some decent receivers with Snead and Miles Boykin, the rookie out of Notre Dame. Of course, Hollywood Brown talked about, and they're 3 tight ends. But let me tell you something, and you got to be careful of the screen game. And one thing about Lamar has excellent escapability because even when it looks like you're about to sack him, he may get the ball away for like a shovel pass or something like that. But we're going to have to surprise him, and I think Dean Pease could bring some different things to confuse him that he hasn't seen before. And one thing about Dean Pease, he's familiar with Baltimore, maybe not this version, but some of those guys on the Baltimore team were around when Dean Pease was around. So he's familiar. And I think Dean Pease, he's cooking up something. He's going to have some tricks up his sleeve for young Lamar. I know I've gone over an hour and everything, but I'm just excited about this game. Isaiah says, I would attack Marcus Peters too. Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Stephon Gilmore is the best corner in the league. Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters are good, but I would still go after them. Now, Marcus Peters tends to take pick sixes. Maybe we use that aggressiveness against him. He's going to try to go for picks. If we can battle, get 50-50 balls, and beat him, we could get some extra yards because he'll be behind us. So Isaiah says, make sure Lamar doesn't run all over the place. Just hit the heck out of everybody. I agree. Hit and wrap up, without a doubt. NGB Talk says, knock that peanut out of Jackson's hands. That's football. Knock it out of his hands, get some turnovers. That will help us out a lot. Hit him and hit him often. Do not get involved in the blitz. He will get out of the pocket. And that is another thing. We're going to have to put some pressure on him and keep him contained without blitzing. That is going to be key. We're not going to be able to blitz a whole lot in this game because we're going to need everybody back just in case he tries to escape. That way we have a spy watching over him. So we definitely got to be key on that. I don't know if the spy will be Jayon or Rashawn, or if it's going to be Vaccaro. But I think they're going to set up a spy to just watch out for him, whatever he does. But as long as each person does their job, we have a very good opportunity. We have an excellent opportunity here. And so, with that being said, it is now time to go to my prediction. Now, I know I said that I think the Titans make the playoffs, win the first game, and the story ends with Baltimore. Now, Gino P, I know you're saying use Adoree as a spy. Maybe if he's in the slot, but I would only use Adoree. And I mean, you could probably interchange different people as a spy. That way, it confuses Lamar Jackson even more. So that way, he ain't just focused on one guy. I think he's going to make different people the spy. And Adoree's going to be too busy trying to take down Marquise Brown. Now, if Marquise Brown ain't in the game, yeah, I could see that. But whenever Marquise Brown is in the game, Adoree can't spy. He's got to be fast enough to keep up with him. Because you don't want Hollywood Brown to get behind us. Because if he gets behind us, he's gone. We're not going to catch him. So, this is going to be important. But here comes my prediction. The Ravens are going to score points. That much is a fact. But I think we can score points too. And I think first team past 25 will win this game. I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans 31. I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans 31. The Baltimore Ravens 27. I think that's what it's going to be. I think Jonnu Smith will have a big impact on this game. I think Derrick Henry will run for another $125. And the Tennessee Titans keep this train rolling all the way to the AFC Championship. That is my prediction. 31-27 is the final score. And I think Greg Joseph kicks 2 big field goals. So, now let us go to the Blue Bombshell question of the day to end the show. And, this really came to me earlier tonight. I know I was going to talk about like New Year's either staying in or going out, but the Golden Globes happened. The Golden Globes happened this past Sunday, and it made me wonder, if you had to pick the type of role in a movie, would you play the good guy, the hero, or would you play the bad guy or the villain in the movie? Let's say, for example, the Avengers. Would you want to be Captain America or Iron Man? Or would you want to be Loki or Thanos? Or Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy? Would you rather be Batman or would you rather be the Joker? Would you rather be Superman or would you rather be General Zod? So I want to hear from y'all before we close out this show tonight. What would you rather be? The good guy in the movie? Maybe the guy who saves the pretty lady in the end and kisses her and gets the girl? Or would you rather be the bad guy who wants to just, make all the money and destroy the world and stuff like that? Which would you rather be, good guy or bad guy? And give me a description of which good guy or bad guys you want. Dan Stevens says, I'm a heel all day. I'm the Penguin. Gino says, depending on how cute the lead actress is. All right, I'll give you one. If Kerry Washington was the lead actress. Or Beyonce, even though I'm not the biggest fan of her. Or Drew Barrymore. AZ Mix says the Hulk. Gino P says Thanos. NGB Talk says, I say the actors typically have more fun being the bad guy. I have noticed that. A lot of times, a lot of actors enjoy being the bad guy. Denzel said that when he was in Training Day, that, it was a different role for him because that was really the first time ever he was the bad guy in the movie, and he enjoyed it because he did it again in American Gangster. So, that was definitely something. But me personally, let's see, the coach play said the Joker would be a fun role. Now, again, I will tell you this. Heath Ledger played a heck of a Joker. And the guy for the Suicide Squad, he was all right, but Heath Ledger played a heck of a joke. I think it was Jared Leto played the Joker in Suicide Squad. Even though Heath Ledger was a hell of a Joker, I'm still a Jack Nicholson fan all the way. I think Jack Nicholson played the best Joker because he was not only a maniac, but he was funny. He made me laugh. He was like, hey, understand, all you got to do is put on a happy face. And, he told Vicky Vale, he was like, yeah, Alicia's gone. Threw herself out of the window. But you got to understand, you can't make an omelet unless you break a few eggs. I love Jack Nicholson bringing out little jokes like that. Let's see. Joseph says the good guy, Mike from Bad Boys, which is coming out next week. NGB Talk says Killmonger from Black Panther. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Michael B. Jordan is Killmonger. He was cool as a bad guy. I'll give him that. Let's see. Coach Play says Ledger the best. Phoenix did a really good job. You know what? I have not seen the Joaquin Phoenix version of Joker. I do want to watch that and see. I have not seen that version yet. I know I'm late, so I got to check that out. And I got to check out another movie, Gemini Man, where Will Smith was fighting himself. I do need to check that out as well. But if it was me, my favorite good guy character, and AZ Mix said it, I'm a Hulk fan. Easily my favorite Avenger is the Hulk. I love the Hulk. Definitely. If I had to choose a villain, and I got to think hard on this one. If I had to choose a villain, honestly, I would say from Transformers, I would be Megatron. Even though I think Optimus Prime is the baddest son of a gun transformer there is, I would enjoy playing Megatron. Because Megatron, he had fun kicking people's butts. And Tyrese was saying it in the movie, he was like, I can't stand the Decepticons. They always got the good stuff. It seemed like the Decepticons had all the good weapons. So I would enjoy being Megatron, honestly. Let's see. Dash says best superhero is Michelangelo. Now, that's another. A lot of people compare me to Michelangelo. I know some people probably think I look like him and everything, but I think you know what? I take being Michelangelo as a compliment because he's the coolest Ninja Turtle of them all. Raphael is always angry. Donatello is the genius, and Leonardo is the disciplined leader. Michelangelo is the cool one. So I don't mind that. I like that. Let's see. Coach Play says, can't watch Transformer with my hottie Megan Fox not being in those movies anymore. Yeah, I mean, her and Shia LaBeouf not being in it is kind of weird, but Mark Wahlberg has actually been pretty good in the last few ones. So I definitely do agree on that. But y'all, I think it's time for me to wrap up the show this evening. I think I've talked your heads off long enough. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit me up on Facebook page, TNT Enforcers. Also on Instagram at Titans_N_truth. Also TNT Blue Enforcer on Twitter. Make sure y'all share this out. And thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have an excellent rest of the night. And we're going to tighten up. I will probably try to do a small pregame video on my Facebook page, and I may try to do it on Twitter, on Instagram as well. And I will definitely do a post game on my Facebook page. So get on my Facebook page, TNT Enforcers, to check that out. I will definitely be live there after we beat the Ravens and go to the AFC Championship. So holla at y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Tighten up. And as I always say in closing, for the Ravens' sake, and for Earl Thomas, understand that at the end of the day, no one, and I do mean no one, will survive. Tighten up, y'all.